$6.60 an hour. Yeah. That's how much money you make, guys, if you accept $1 per mile deliveries. Let me break it down for you. The federal government says that when a individual person uses their personal vehicle for business purposes, they give you a 67-cent per mile deduction on your taxes. So they're basically saying it costs you 67 cents per mile. So here's the thing. If you accept $1 a mile deliveries, that only leaves you with 33 cents. And on average, you're only going to drive about 20 miles in an hour. Now you might say, John, I can drive 60 miles an hour. Really? I'd love to see you try that. Most of the time, you're driving on surface streets and in neighborhoods. Let's go. Where you can drive 25, maybe 35 miles an hour. Plus the fact that every pickup takes time. Every delivery takes time. You might have to wait at the pickup. You might have to wait at the delivery. So 20 miles in an hour is about what you can drive. If you drive 20 miles in an hour, 33 cents a mile leaves you with $6.60. Obviously, that's not worth doing, guys. So, the first thing you got to do is don't accept those $1 a mile deliveries. Personally, I go for a minimum of $2 a mile. That leaves me making a minimum of, I think it's about $28 an hour. No, I'm sorry, less than that. Around $24 an hour. My math on the fly it has never been that great, so you can correct me down in the comments if you'd like. Anyway, $24 an hour still isn't that great. So here's what you got to do. Like I said, first, don't accept those $1 a mile deliveries. Go for $2 a mile minimum. Secondly, don't accept any delivery less than $6. Because you got to remember, you got the pickup, you got the delivery. You're not going to be driving at all when you're doing those things. Also, you've got the return trip after you make that delivery. That's why it's only 20 miles in an hour. You might actually drive 30 miles in that hour, but only 20 of those miles were you actually getting paid. Because some of those miles that you drove are going back to an area where you get orders. A lot of times you make a delivery in a neighborhood, you're not going to sit in front of that person's house and see if you get a delivery from there. No, you got to drive back to a good area, especially where there's lots of good restaurants, to get another good order. All right? So, $2 a mile. The next thing you want to do is reduce your vehicle expenses. Do repairs yourself. Buy a cheap vehicle like I did. I bought this car for $900. I put about $1,100 into fixing it up myself. So the whole thing cost me $2,000, and I have put 8,000 miles on it since I purchased it. And I figure on average, I make about $1 per mile. After all the return miles, all those extra things, I make about $1 per mile. So that's accepting $2 mile offers. You're only making $1 a mile. That's why you really want to get better than that. Now, this might be a little different in your area. You might be able to take the interstate on a lot of your deliveries, or surface roads that the speed limit is 45 or even 55 sometimes. So you've got to make some adjustments for your area. You've also got to make some adjustments for the time of day that you're delivering. You know, if you want to work at all between, say, noon and 4 or 5 p.m., you've got to accept a little less money. Otherwise, just go home.
In a quarter mile, turn left on Hope Avenue.
Don't waste your time. Spend it doing something else, making money that way, or do your laundry. Get things done that you need to get done at home. So, one more thing is the fact that, yes, the federal government gives you a 67 cents a mile tax deduction, but most of you don't even take it. Unless you are itemizing your taxes, you're not taking that deduction, you're taking the standard deduction. So you're not even getting that anyway from the government. So $2 a mile is pretty much the minimum, unless you're already planning on going that direction. If it's on your way home at the end of the night,
then turn right on Lawn Street Avenue.
If it's on your way to the area that you deliver in, because that's the good area to make good money. That's what I do. I drive about 20 miles almost every day that I want to go deliver to get to the area where there's a ton of restaurants and a ton of rich people that tip the big bucks.
Just ahead, turn right on Hope.
And it's more than worth it to do that, because I can average
turn right on Hope Avenue.
$30 to $35 an hour, especially during a dinner rush. All right, guys. So let's finish up here. I want to get this thing posted. I'm not going to edit it, so I may rehash something that I've already talked about. Anyway, the point is at least $2 a mile minimum. 3 or 4 is better. $6 generally, but it depends on your area. $6 per delivery. But remember, if it's a $6 delivery, it can only be 3 miles long. So let's wrap this video up. I'm going to post it online. Do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe down below, leave me a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.